how to actually become the fittest version of ourselves. We break these down into 7 buckets or 7 different tiers. So basically, we're trying to apply all 7 of these principles of fitness, or at least understand these principles of fitness to become the fittest version of ourselves. So individuality is the first one, and we're going to go into these a lot more in depth later in the podcast, but just a brief introduction. Individuality is basically saying that no 2 people will respond the same to a given training program. Not everyone's the same, right? Specificity, this simply being is that to get better at a certain task, we need to do that specific and certain task very, very specifically or very, very exact. In addition to this, we also need progression in our fitness program. And progression simply being is that we need to do more work over time. So this is kind of the time aspect of we need to do more stuff over time. That's a really, really big, crucial component to consider. Overload kind of goes in the same horizon as progression. We need to overload, or we need to apply more stress to the body. And usually this kind of is in conjunction with progression, but we need to overload. We need to stress or push ourselves in our training program, of course, to get better. And of course, if we're stressing ourselves out, we don't want to just stress ourselves and run ourselves into the ground. So the way we actually kind of counteract this is through recovery. And recovery is a super crucial component that a lot of people neglect in their training program. And later in the podcast, we will definitely dive in and how to tackle recovery to the best of your abilities. And then, of course, once you recover, there's an awesome thing. This is what we all want in a fitness program, and ultimately how we become the fittest version of ourselves. We adapt. The adaptation occurs. After we place that stress, after we recover, we adapt and we get better and we get fitter. But it doesn't end there, because there's reversibility. This idea that if you don't continually work your muscle, do this training program, you will not actually get better. So that's a brief example of the 7 principles and